You know, doing a Vallejo takeover just doesn't feel right without having someone very special here with me. So in case you missed it, I have an amazing co-host who is joining me today. He just made it to the biggest sports stage at the Super Bowl, and I think he deserves a proper welcome to Live in the Bay. So ladies and gentlemen, straight out of Vallejo, California, repping the Bay with pride, purpose, and power. He's not just building a fan base, he's building a movement, turning backyard shows into sold-out experiences and community into culture, an artist, an entrepreneur, a history maker who brought the Bay energy all the way to the Super Bowl stage and now officially signed to Rock Nation. Please welcome Vallejo's own LaRussell. LaRussell, it's so exciting to have you here. Welcome to Live in the Bay.
Gratitude.
Yes, gratitude to you as well. Oh my goodness.
We co-workers now.
We are. You're officially my co-worker. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, it is so exciting to have you here. And truly, you have had some of the most incredible experiences and blessings coming your way.
Yeah.
And you just came off of the Super Bowl performance. You were an official tailgate performer at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, has it sunk into you, like the magnitude of how big of a moment that was?
Kinda, but I've also been, you know, in the flow of life.
Yeah.
Just lifing. But yeah, you know, I've had moments where it's just been like, wow. You know, throughout that Super Bowl week, I consistently had moments of, wow,
yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, I mean, you look like you've just had so much fun. I loved following all your content from Super Bowl week because you were everywhere showing love to everyone.
Yeah.
And, you know, just what an incredible moment. And then right before that, you announced that you are officially signed to Rock Nation.
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations, first and foremost. That is huge. Talk a little bit about the journey and kind of what that meant to you.
Man, everything. You know, Rock Nation was one of the first people to offer me a deal when I first started going viral. And it didn't work out back then, you know, and I stood on my principles and I didn't feel like it was fit. And I had to maintain my independence. For 5 years, I had to stay relevant and build community and cultivate something. And for people to see me go from the back of my dad's truck in Vallejo to I'm co-hosting the news.
Yes.
You know, that's just a beautiful testament and story of real.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, talk about, you just kind of mentioned it, 5 years of doing it on your own and, you know, what that takes and what that looks like, all while shining light on all the Bay Area communities. Yeah. You know, that's so important to you. Why is that?
It's home. You know, it's really special to me. I remember early in my journey, I stopped flying out and I would tell all the label partners, like, you got to come to my home to see me if you want me, you know, because I wanted people to get that experience, but I wanted my community to get the experience. I wanted my neighbors to get the experience. I wanted these are the people who seen me walk in the neighborhood and see me grow up.
Yeah.
And they deserve that too.
Yes, absolutely. You've been all about kind of giving back along the way, you know, to make it to be signed with Rock Nation. That is a huge deal. Yeah. So congratulations. It didn't come without a little bit of hate, maybe a lot of hate. I've seen you kind of addressing that, you know, on your social media. It's not something that I usually want to give light to, but I think the way that you're talking about it and addressing it really, it just is kind of poetic in a sense. You know, what do you see with the hate that you've got since you made that announcement?
I'm really grateful for it. You know, there's no testimony without a test. And I don't have to respond, I get to respond. You know, I always want to be the person who represent myself and my own narrative. You're going to hear it from me. And that's been me my entire career, and it's not going to change now. I want to be the person that speaks for LaRussell. Yeah.
And, you know, I think you haven't made it until you have haters, right?
Yeah,
so
you hear me?
You
Come on.
made it, yeah. Amazing. You know, today is a show all about doing a Vallejo takeover. We couldn't do it without some people who have had a really big impact in your life. You know, what are you most looking forward to today when it comes to co-hosting and just shining a light on Vallejo?
I'm excited to just share this spotlight in this position with all these people who have been fruitful and cultivating to my journey. Like, these aren't anyone who's like, oh, I just seen what they was doing. These are people who helped me become who I became and are pivotal parts of my community and where I'm from. It's a real deal. We really live it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited that we get to kind of put them on the spotlight. I want to go back to you because I feel like you are one of the hardest workers that I know. You are always somewhere. You're always doing something. And early this year, you posted your schedule. You posted like booked and busy. And seeing that, I was like, wow. Well, you know, like talk about the grind and what this actually means to put in the work and get to where you need to go. Here's the schedule right here. You got something every hour of the day.
You see that? That's somebody who want it.
Yes.
You know, I got a saying that I tell, you know, the little homies coming up. If you want to do it for a living, you have to do it for a living. You know, and this is my commitment to that. Like, I'm so dedicated to this. This is the life I wanted for myself. And since that's the life I wanted for myself, I do it as much as I can.
Yeah, that's incredible. This is truly what it is. If you want it, you got to go after it. At the start of this year, you set out to sell 100,000 albums independently. You let anyone buy those at whatever cost they wanted. So some people bought it for $1. I saw Gary Vee buy it for $18,000.
$18,000, that's a world record.
Yes, that's incredible. You know, why was this important to you to kind of set out on that journey to sell records in that way?
I just wanted to prove to myself it was possible. Sometimes you got to just do things to remind yourself of how capable you are and how strong you are and how dedicated you are to your craft. You know, I didn't know if I would do it or not, but I really wanted to prove that to myself.
Yeah, what did it mean to you to get the support from Gary Vee?
Everything, you know, to have a world record for the highest digital album sold. I think I hold the top 5 slots for that record, you know. And it means a lot because we come from an era where you used to get a CD for $10.99. So anytime someone is like, I'm going to spend this with you because I believe in you, it just shows me that it's so much deeper than the music.
Yes, well, lots of people believe in you. They have proved that to you. You know, we'd love to see you come up. I'm so happy to have you here. We got a lot of fun coming up still on Live in the Bay. LaRussell, we always do a question of the day, so why don't I have you read our question of the day today? Okay,
question of the day. This came from a real thoughtful thinker. What are you contributing to the world, and are your daily actions aligned with the change you want to see?
All right, there's the question from LaRussell. Go ahead and scan that QR code, or you can go to our social media pages as well to send in your answers. We're going to shout some out later in the show. LaRussell, what does that mean to you?
It means everything. You know, how you were just touching on the hate, like there's a lot of people who spend a lot of time judging, but it's like, what are you doing on the opposite end to make the world better or in the light that you would like it? It's easy to judge, it's hard to do.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. For me, you know, I try to put a little bit of joy out into the world. You know, that's what we try to do here at Live in the Bay, just highlight all the positive things in the community. I think that's why I resonated with you when I first saw you, because I just think you're constantly putting joy into the world. So we try to be a little piece of joy in everyone's day here at Live in the Bay.